Hi everyone, I'm Rasika. I'm a chartered accountant by profession and I'm pursuing my career in indirect taxes. As I'm a chartered accountant and as the elections are coming up, I would want to understand what a potential central council member thinks about the youth of India, the young chartered accountants crowd. Since I was also fortunate to work with Hiregange and Associates, and I know Madhukar sir as mentor from my organization then, I would like to ask a few questions on behalf of the entire youth of the nation, the CA youth. So the
Welcome.
CA youth wants to know a few things, and I would like Madhukar sir to answer a few questions on their behalf.
Go
Hello,
ahead,
Madhukar sir.
Rasika. That's nice.
Yeah. My first question on behalf of the youth is given that there are so many alternate career options available today, that is CWA, CMA, and things like that, do you think CA as a profession still has an upper hand and holds a persuasive value?
Definitely, though there is much to be done to improve the course, but I think CA is still one of the preferable courses, especially for those who come from the middle class or poor families. And we have 80% of India's youth there. Maybe 20% of them, like you and me, have been lucky to have reasonably well-to-do parents, and we go to the good schools. Even for us, there is a scope there, and I'll try to explain it. The differentiator, I would say anything we look at, we have to see in comparison. What is the differentiator? The major differentiator is the internship of 2 years, where we go to a lot of companies, we examine a lot of financials, maybe 20, 30, 40, and you come to know what makes these businesses tick. What are the best processes being followed by small and big? Because we do all sorts of audits, small companies, big companies, whether it is even in GST consultancy, you may have a person who is just having 50 lakhs of turnover. You also have 5,000 crores of turnover, and you visit all of them. When you visit them, you get domain knowledge about that industry and also about, as I said, what goes on behind and what is it that we should not do, industry should not do. Remember, finally, we are business consultants. If you really look at it, once we gain a little of knowledge in audit, experience in audit, then we go on to consulting. The MSME, they rely on us because they cannot afford to have chartered accountants on their rolls. So they rely on us. One more point is that CA, good or bad, we have a large depth of subjects, large breadth and depth also. We require, in many of the cases, we require expert knowledge. In many of the cases, we require reasonable knowledge, but large breadth is there. So this type of a curriculum is not available anywhere else. The third thing which I think is very important is all of us get a confidence that we can learn any subject. This is not possible in an easy exam. If I were to look at all the others you mentioned, whether it is ACCA or CS or CWA, relatively they are very easy. Law is so easy. A friend of mine with whom I have collaborated for books, he used to say he tried CA and stopped. So I asked him, why did you stop? He said, I did LLB because I can't fail. And I didn't continue CA because I may fail. So, but it's not so bad. Nowadays, results have improved. Cost effectiveness, as I said earlier, is also something which is a differentiator. One point which is very important is when people qualify from wherever they qualify, they can't get experience. For getting experience, they have to really, you know, they find it difficult to find anybody who will allow somebody who has no idea. Remember, when we are coming to CA, we are working in the same offices. For example, when I came into CA, I would never speak to a girl, never. Even look was a little, only clandestinely type. So, but this happened that I had one wonderful girl about to second year when I was doing article, Shobha Gayatri. She did her CA, she did her CFA. Wonderful girl. She was so sports like, anything. And she put me at ease. Actually, after that, I didn't have a problem in talking to the girls. Not that I used to talk too much, but yeah. One more thing is that because we get into the business, we learn bit of digital skills. I'm not talking about mobile browsing, actual digital skills, because the client will have some software and I need to understand it. Some clients will have ERP. First time I thought, what is ERP? But then the client taught us a bit, took us through a training program of 2 days, how is ERP works. And at a tender age, I was able to make out that technology is making such a difference. Remember, Rasika, I'm talking about 1982. At that time itself, Myco was the company, Bosch, and they had the best systems, and I learned a lot there. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And the next question is, okay, I'll pursue my career as a CA and I've become a CA finally. But the institute and the code of conduct also requires that we shouldn't market ourselves in any format, right? So I know I'm capable and I'm working hard, but I'm not allowed to market. And today, especially in the digital market where social media is everything, how can I market myself to become a really successful and a chartered accountant? Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I would say that I will share what we have done, which you also experienced in Hyderabad when you did, when you worked with us. We basically don't like to go out and, ask for work. No cold calls, if at all, unless there is some interest shown by the client, we don't go. In fact, I started even stricter. I would never visit a client until they have visited my office and agreed to get the work. After that, I'll visit the client. Maybe he'll never visit me again. But that was the principle, maybe a little old fashioned. Remember, that was in 1980s, late 80s, and institute was very strict. First thing is the institute is totally, what I would say, out of date. It is time they allowed a level playing field because we find the big four, they give full page advertisement, they sponsor so many events, so many, awards. All of that actually help them to get a very good exposure and reach. And obviously, they do turnovers of thousands of crores in consulting alone, in audit alone. Each of them I'm talking about. I'm not talking all together. And we find it difficult because, as you said, there seems to be a embargo on marketing. But I would like to look at it differently. The way we did is, for example, I was not a good academic and I had to get expertise in central excise where I started. So I started writing articles. Each article would take, 30, 40 hours research and doing it so many times reading. Slowly, after this bi-weekly articles, I started online answering. And each answer I would take 10 minutes to answer. I'd go back to the provision, read it and answer. I answered maybe about 12,000 questions in the early part of my uh, practice. Uh, that also helped me to become a little wiser, more expertise. So what I'm driving at is that the first step is that I have to have a very good knowledge, what we call in our firm knowledge edge. Without a knowledge edge, professional cannot survive. The next point, which I realized a bit later, because I was a practitioner for the first 14 years, I was a proprietor. And I used to think whatever I am doing is right. I was all about I, me, myself. Hardly I used to bother about the client. But that was not the right approach. And I was not doing too well. However, luckily, many things went against me at that time. I'm saying luckily, because I was able to then look at what's wrong with you, Madhukar. And I found there were a lot of things wrong with this fellow. And I stopped thinking of myself. And everything became about the other side. And you'll be surprised, I didn't start with client. I started with our employees. I said I will create leaders in profession. And how do I create leaders? The people who are there working with me, I empowered them, took them in as partners at young age, shared my profit sharing with them. This led to the employees becoming either partners, or even if they were employees, they were very dedicated to the firm. They gave back. Human beings, if I give you something, Rasika, there's no choice for you. You have to give it back to me. Whether it is you or the departmental officer or the CBE's IC, even though we think that they are not manned by really professional people, they have a corruption to great degree, but still that doesn't mean anything. That's a system which is at fault. It's not the human being. Human being remains human being. Serve them and they'll serve you. So clients also serve the clients and clients will serve you. Serve the profession, profession will serve you. And for us, we were in specialized area, which was a very big advantage because I served professionals. For them, there was no conflict to refer work to me. And with this, we had a very honorable, you can say, growth. And marketing was mainly through knowledge share. We did a lot of seminars where we did not hold back. We told everything which is known to us as on that date. Our books also became passive marketing for us. Videos, nowadays, though, you have videos like the one we are shooting now. So if I were to look at, marketing, I would say serve and get served is the first one. And second, look at what is it the market wants. And then write insightful articles for them. A few will read, few will not read. Online answering forums, I think, are the best. We have one partner, Shilpi Jain, whom you know very well, and she's number one on TMI as of today. So obviously, she has a lot of people who genuinely respect and like her. And I think that's the way to grow in the profession. One more thing is have a clear goal. I didn't have a clear goal till the age of 40. I was just meandering around. Broadly, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to see that my family is able to go out maybe once in a way. Those days, we never used to go out because I was not doing well financially. But once I moved from this I, me, myself to the outside, I don't know, it was like a miracle. And there is no stopping. Now we have, 15 branches, 500 plus people, 100 chartered accountants, 30 lawyers in our firm, and most of them are, in my understanding, very happy with us. Even though we may not be paying the sort of emoluments they can get in industry or uh, MN multinational firm. Yeah, that's it, I think.
Yes. Wow. I totally agree with you, sir, about the last part that you said that even though we are maybe not equated at the market price, but we're really happy when we are working. There's a lot of job satisfaction, is what I would say.
Yes.
Yes. Sir, the next thing is how do we build a flourishing career or a flourishing practice?
Okay, that's a topic on which I've worked a lot. In fact, I've written a book recently. It's with the publishers. Anytime now it may come out. And as usual, I'll be sharing the first part of it, and even the cost may be something nominal. I've asked the publisher if he can. I asked him to read the book so he knows it's a book which contributes to the nation, not only to CAs, to any professional. Uh, of course, I'm biased. I know more about practice. But if I were to understand from you, what do you mean by flourish? Because my understanding of flourishing may be a bit different from yours. What do you understand by flourish?
Yeah. So flourishing means a successful, healthy practice or a healthy growth in career by, leading from the front and taking everyone along, not just traveling alone, taking everyone along, keeping everyone happy and satisfied to every level, and then surviving the market also.
Okay, good. I think more or less we are aligned to the meaning. What I understand is that first we have to look at what is it that we are looking from profession. Many of us come from humbler backgrounds, financially not very stable. So possibly for many of us, it is economic stability which is important. And that would mean that I'm flourishing. But there are a lot of non-material things which I think are much more important as we grow. Because as a chartered accountant, I am going to earn well anyway. Anyway, I'm going to earn well. It may take a little time. So I think the aspects of making a good name, have being an influencer, which you talked about, being an influencer, if people look at you and they say you are a person who has achieved something, they look up to you, they don't question your advice. That's because we are professional. They also expect us to be ethical. Whether the client is ethical or not, he will expect me to be ethical. And therefore, when we started the firm, as you know, we focused on saying that we are a no bribe firm. And we are proud to say that anybody who has bribed in our firm, we have removed them, even at the top levels. We have removed them. It has cost us sometimes crores to get them out of the place because we didn't have any safeguards in place. We basically built the firm on trust. But when it came to uh, asking somebody to leave, we had to be fair with them, even though I personally did not want to be fair, let me tell you. Uh, because for me, it is not just my blood boils in case of any quality issues and ethical issues. Quality, we have still not mastered, I think. We are still going towards it. But that's the way I would answer you. Have I answered you, first of all? I don't know.
Yes, yes, you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Sir, what is one challenge in the profession that you think needs to be addressed? And how would your style of addressing it be?
See, I have done this in the past. I was in the council in 2011 to 13 and again 16 to 19. And I was very clear on one or two things which was missing then, missing now also, unfortunately, which is that we need to have the credibility of the nation. We should have been in the forefront for everything. The finance minister should have been a chartered accountant without fail, by default. But we have had lawyers, then you had others coming in, which I'm not saying they are not good. I would have said I'm saying that as a chartered accountant should have been there because of the credibility and the respect. The fact that the knowledge we gain is second to none is something which somehow has not got the premium it needs to get. One problem which I think is there is that we are choosing very poor leaders at all levels. We have a democracy, so we have a branch being chosen. Then we have regional council, then central council, the place which I am aspiring to go now again. There, I think we have to be very clear that we send leaders we respect, we look up to. We are proud to have them as our leaders, not somebody from my community, not somebody who calls me 5 times and checks up about my children and my wife and all things which are in my view are not so important. We give credibility to those people who call us rather than give that mandate to somebody who has proved themselves, and then ask them to do it, make them accountable to it. I think without values, this profession itself is not having any difference from any business. So I think that we all need to be patriots. If I have to go to the council, I should be a patriot of India first. And I also should not go there for, getting bank audits, becoming director of the bank, uh, basically setting up branches in India. Of course, I have set up branches, but not when I was in the council. Most of my branches were done in between my, whatever I did. But setting up branches abroad, then making foreign trips to that place to set myself up. These type of things we should not do. We should be selfless. Look at that as one of the qualities for your leaders. It's not easy. Many of us do not give importance to the election itself. Especially if I'm in a job, I hardly know what ICA is doing for me, which is another problem. Why we do not do things for the people who are in the career. I think this is what is required. It's a very tall ask. I'm not expecting it to happen very soon. But those of you who will read my book, uh, because it will be available online and also physical copy, if you read the book, you can start with the last page. So I've looked at what Rabindranath Tagore said about the where we should be going, not only as chartered accountants, as citizens of India.
That was beautifully answered, sir. Sir, what's the idea of a fulfilling life according to you? What has given you the peak satisfaction and fulfillment? And what is the thing that incentivizes you towards a fulfilling life always?
I've already touched on it, but I'll say it again in another way. For me, at every stage, I've looked at what is it that I will do which can make me proud of myself. So sometimes my goals have been very, high. For example, in 2002, I said that I will make the indirect tax laws in India simple, fair, and transparent. This was my declaration. And I was doing a practice at that time of say 30 lakhs. Nowhere. But what happened was funny. So many things happened such that I finally was able to make a difference. And we were also called to, draft part of the GST law, which was done, transitional provisions was done in the indirect tax committee, and the government cut pasted it almost. Of course, they had some revenue considerations where they did not give the benefits which the courts are giving now after 5 years. If they just adopted what we said, GST would have been much more simple and it would have been user friendly. Remember, at one point is very clear, which is lost by many of us. Clients are our Annadatta. They are also the Annadatta for the nation. For Nirmala Sitharaman, for Modi, they are the people who earn money for us. We are all service providers to them. This concept, if we are clear, we can actually do well. I'm not saying that we'll help them to cheat, not pay taxes. I have been paying my taxes right from whatever, 30 years. And I think there was some scrutiny done also when I spoke against the department, something was done and all that. I know there were some notices which I refused to, accept. I got relief at the tribunal. So I hope I've answered your question there also.
Yes, sir. Like, if I can just use a very, very famous phrase, service to mankind is service to God. Similarly, service to a nation is service to self, is what we want to say. Yes, yeah, it was a very nice Q&A session. So we've answered all our questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rasika, for making time. And I think it was a little long, but then I am known to be long-winded. If you allow me to speak, I'll keep speaking. But it was nice having you on the talk and nice, insightful questions. Uh, I did not give you the questions. I allowed you the liberty of choosing your questions. So thank you very much and all the best.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And I really wish all the best for your contesting.
Thank you.